Thank goodness, my luck has changed slightly. Here we have the Styx. That is so deeply unfair. The lion has now gone to sleep in the in the long grass. Right, I will tell you that I did see 2 cubs and another lioness here. They're in amongst the bushes. They've killed a waterbuck. I think they've been here for some time, but I'm afraid now they have lain down in the thick bushes and left us with absolutely nothing to see. Oh, I do apologise. We will move shortly to see if we can't find some other view. Andrew's just going around the other side to see if he can get a view there. Michael, you say, when will the new litter of Styx cubs join the pride? Michael, when they're about 6 weeks old normally, and I don't know when they were born. I'm not sure when they were born, so I'm afraid I couldn't tell you exactly when that's going to be. Hopefully it will be in the not too distant future, and we will see them better than we can see them now. I'm just going to wait for Andrew to reposition around the other side there and see if he can't get a view. And if he can, then we'll go and join him over there. Otherwise, we might spend a rather frustrating time here with this lion who has put her head firmly down on the ground and shows absolutely no intention of sitting up. Now, you must understand that as a cameraman, this is not an easy job, because Sensor has got to be creative and make a flat cat lying in the middle of the bush look relatively exciting for all our long-suffering viewers who have to put up with my complaints about the universe spitting on him the whole time. At least I've got Andrew here now, which means that I can use his radio via him, of course, and he can tell me what else is going on around this place. So that's all we can see so far. I think we might try and move now. Let's see if we can't get a better view of something. We'll just go around through here. It's very thick. Grass is very long. All right, let's go back to Tristan while I move around here. I think he is still on the hunt for Hosanna. Here we are, everybody. We're back with the lion. We've done a little sort of 180-degree flip around. We have a flat cat, at least we can see in here now, a heaving belly. And I think for the next little while we'll just sit here and see if we can't coax the youngsters out. Perhaps they'll come back and start feeding again. They may or may not. Time will tell. And then we'll press on. It's quite a nice picture there of the the colours of the red of the kill there and the purple of the Vernonia flowers. It's a bit morbid, I suppose. Anyway, here we are, and I have other news for you about our other characters. Tandi and Tamba are unfortunately to the south of where we're allowed to go, but they're happy and reunited and well. Still no word of Karula, I'm afraid. It is just a most beautiful morning. It's a bit of a breeze. I think there must be a cold front coming through the country. But it's just a very crystal, lovely morning. So we'll sit here for a little while and wait and see if the cubs don't come out. And if they don't, we'll go and do a little foray onto Cheetah Plains and see what we can see that part of the world. Remember, any questions? #Safari Live on Twitter. That is the best way to get hold of us. Indeed, I believe it to be the possibly, no, not quite the oldest way, but best way to get hold of us. And it's a of course, when we get to this position, one does struggle slightly to find interesting things to say when the cat is being so deeply uninteresting, but that's okay, that's its prerogative. Kirk, you say, what kind of carcass is it? Well, that does actually bring us quite a nice discussion. Since we can have a look at the hoof sticking into the air there, that is a waterbuck. And a waterbuck, Cobus ellipsiprimnus, is renowned apparently for not being tasteful to lions. Lions don't like eating them, and that's because they have an aromatic oil underneath the skin that makes them smell like a tackroom. Now, I don't know if you know what a tackroom smells like, but it smells like sweaty leather, basically. Anyway, the sweaty leather smell doesn't actually put lions off. It's a complete sort of misconception that has been created. Lions will very happily eat waterbuck, and that's what they've killed here. So I'm sure some of you would have heard that lions don't like to eat waterbuck. Well, it so happens that they do, and they will eat waterbuck, and that oil that produces the sort of leathery smell, which I find very pleasant, some people find unpleasant, is probably an oil to keep them waterproofed to a certain extent when they are in the water, trying to escape the water. And then, of course, also to help them follow each other, I suspect, when they're running through the bush away from something. I've often wondered about that, though, and it's the same as the theory behind the fetlock gland on the impala, which the next time you see, you will notice they have sort of black glands on the backs of their fetlocks. Oh, the lion is turning over. There's high action here. Phew! How to contain our excitement. And we're now looking at the grass for some reason. Senzo, is there any reason we're looking at the grass? Where was I? Oh, yes. If the waterbuck can smell each other and the impala can smell each other, I'm fairly sure that there must be a predator that's evolved to smell too. So I'm not sure that it holds water necessarily, that they use the smell to follow each other. Then let's go back to the lion, and we'll just have a look and see there. There we are. And as we do that, Priscilla is saying that lions tend to have more skin issues and parasites than the other cats, and why is that? Priscilla, I'm not sure that that's true. I know that lions certainly can give human beings who handle them various kinds of unpleasantnesses, like liver flukes and that sort of thing, but I don't know that they're necessarily more parasite-riddled than leopards or hyenas. I wouldn't have thought so. I think they probably just look like that. Then their skin condition, I think you'll find, might be slightly poorer than leopards, but that's going to be on account of the fact that they fight each other all the time. Their faces will constantly have scars on them. There will be constant wounds, open wounds, often on the face and on parts of their bodies, because their lives are a lot more physically demanding than something like a leopard's. Leopards stalk very close to their prey. It'll normally be something smaller or lighter than they are, not always, but normally, and they will very seldom take prey at full speed. They might be going at full speed, but it's highly unlikely the prey will be, so the prey is surprised. A lion, however, while they operate in a similar fashion, will take much heavier prey because there are more of them. But if one of them has to make the initial takedown, one of them has got to make the initial sort of attack, and it's often done at full stretch, at full speed. So if you think of them initially taking a buffalo or waterbuck or something like that, or zebra, they catch them at full stretch and one of them's got to take down the prey before the rest jump on top. Now that brings with it a physical demand. If you're a lioness like this and you're chasing after 300 kilogram zebra, that's a 660 pound zebra, that's an animal almost 3 times your mass, then inevitably there are going to be injuries and scuff marks and grazes that come along with the initial takedown. But you can afford to take that risk, of course, because if you do take it, your mates will come and help you to kill the animal in question, and you will then have something to eat. So I think that's why you'll find that they look slightly worse for wear than the leopards. Geeky Beth, you're wondering about, based on, I'm not sure how to answer your question. You're basically saying which animals have the most nutritional value for the lions, but there's a caveat there, or an addition to your question about which ones are the most difficult to catch. So I'm not really sure how to answer both of those. Anyway, the most difficult to catch are giraffe and buffalo. Buffalo the most, because they are very strong, really strong. They're much heavier than the lions, and I think the nutritional status of their prey depends largely on what the prey's been eating, and we know that, of course, because we had that incident, we had that time, that experience with the Nkuhuma pride, where the young Nkuhumas, many of them died, or 2 of them died, of white muscle disease brought about by the fact that the lions were eating buffalo that were not eating sufficiently good food, and that means that the lions weren't getting sufficient nutrition, and 2 of them died as a result. Now, I don't think the size of the prey's got anything to do with that. I think that if they'd been eating impala exclusively, that probably would have had the same problem. I think that the lack of variation in the diet probably caused an issue. So I don't think that it's possible to say that any one animal has got more nutritional value to the lions than any other animal. Does that answer your question? If it doesn't, let us know. #SFORAlive. Mohammed, you say there are parts of the carcass the lions would avoid eating. Not if they were desperate, no, Mohammed. But if they were not desperate, so if they had been eating like they had during the drought, when they were eating buffalo left, right and centre, they would normally avoid bits that are too hard to get into, so they often left the forelimbs out, the front legs, which are quite difficult and bony and don't have a great deal of muscle. They didn't bother to eat away at the meat on the face quite often, which can be quite good. They will always, however, avoid the stomach contents. So while they will absolutely eat the stomach, they will eat the intestines, they will avoid the stomach contents. But otherwise, anything that they can eat, they will eat. They don't eat the skin. The skin is fairly indigestible, especially on a big thing like a buffalo. They don't eat the hooves. The hooves are completely indigestible. And so, yeah, they don't, I mean, there are various bits and pieces that they won't eat. But bones, meat, organs, ligaments, tendons, all of that sort of thing they will eat with relish. Well, I think that cat is thoroughly fast asleep, so we'll do one little drive forward, see if we can't spot the youngsters, and if we cannot, I think we'll head on to Cheetah Plains and see if we can't find, well, something interesting going on there. What say you? Good? Good. Tenzo, let's go a little bit forward here. And just be aware the lion might roll over, which will provide us with an enormous amount of entertainment. Oh, she's looked up. Might also get a slightly better view of the carcass from here. Fairly unpleasant vegetation to drive through around here. And you see the others. The others went skittling through here, and very strange behaviour for them to have moved away from us at all. You know, given that lions are generally not afraid of us in the vehicles. Alright, I think we're going to leave the sighting, everybody. I'm not sure where the other lions are. I'm a little bit worried that they were nervous of us. So we're going to press on from here. And while we do that, Jamie apparently is on the equivalent of Route 66 for ants.